This might sound arrogant, and if it is, we're Michigan.
I'm telling them it's not over. It's just starting. It's not over. It'll never be over here.
And welcome back to Bitter Rivals with Ted and Tom. Hey, Tom, a couple tough games coming up here.
Sure is. Going to Illinois at 3:30 till. The Wolverines got to bounce back after that loss to Iowa.
The Jekyll and Hyde of the Big Ten. Now, they do have a week bye before playing.
Yeah, how convenient is that? Michigan was victimized by that with Michigan State, and I think that's a definite advantage for the home team getting a bye week and waiting for the visiting team to come back-to-back road games.
Well, it depends on which Illinois team shows up. The one that played Penn State all the way to the last play of the game,
right?
Doinked a field goal that would have tied it up.
Yeah. Or
the early season Illinois.
Yeah, well, I'm not so much worried about Illinois. I'm worried about Michigan. I mean, they got to run the football, be physical, and let Denard Robinson do what he does best, and that's, read option and make him more of a threat with his feet as opposed to his arm, as we saw what happened with his arm.
I'll tell you what, though, one thing that I think a lot of spread teams are getting away with, which is very difficult for the defense, is the pass-run blocking that's being done on 3 and 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. Because if you're a defensive player and you read offensive lineman that far off the line of scrimmage, right, you're saying it's a run.
Right.
And they're getting away. A lot of these spread offenses are getting away with that type of blocking. If you go back to the Michigan State game and watch the tape of that, Spielman was talking about that throughout the whole game.
Right, I think that's a relevant point. Now, conversely, Michigan State, critical game. I mean, this pretty much lays it out for the Spartans. They win this game, they're going to set up in pretty good shape as far as winning the Legends, getting that berth down in Indy on December the 3rd. Can they beat Iowa? Last year, what was it, 30-something?
It was done by the first quarter.
Right, absolutely. Can Kirk Cousins go on the road and limit his mistakes, make good decisions, and the Spartans win this game in a real tough environment? Iowa is in the driver's seat too. If they win out,
they go
to Indianapolis. So there's a lot on the line, and that is a noisy stadium. There is no space. It's a bull ring. It's so tight. And that you can hear all the players can get under the skin as far as what the fans can throw at if they don't stay poised. Then you got the pink locker room to deal with as well.
I think that it's all going to come down to the offensive scheme, and I'm still not convinced that we are scheming as best as we can with the talent that we have at running back, at wide receiver, at the skill positions. Now, the offensive line's been dinged up. I mean, we were down to our third-string center with right. Rulin because of the concussion to Travis Jackson.
Right.
And they're still mix and match.
Treadwell's been out all year.
He's got a red shirt. They're going to burn a red shirt on him.
Yeah, right.
So that's still kind of a question mark. But if they are successful in pulling it out at Kinnick Stadium, then watch out.
Right.
I think we got a really good chance of running the table and going on to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship.
You'll absolutely get obliterated by the Wisconsin Badgers.
Hey, Tom,
I promise you that.
I've seen a parallel that I want to share with you as it relates to Michigan football of recent times and Nebraska football. So I want to go through a litany of changes that both programs had and do a comparison, really. And I'll go back to when Bo Pelini was not given the job after the interim head coaching job, after the firing of Frank Solich, and they bring in the outsider, the NFL guy, Bill Callahan.
From the Raiders.
And Bill Callahan comes in and basically says, I don't care what the Nebraska tradition was. I don't care about this great tradition of walk-ons. I'm going to do it my way. I've been successful, and you just have to follow suit. And it was a disaster.
That worked out well, didn't it?
Rich Rod basically came in the same way.
Absolutely.
And there's
good comparison.
And there's a parallel between Frank Solich. What a lot of people were surprised at when they watched the Michigan State Nebraska game was Frank Solich was the winningest coach his first 3 years at Nebraska, ahead of Bill Devaney, ahead of Tom Osborne, and ahead of Bo Pelini. And the last comparison, I think this is a positive thing for the University of Michigan. I see a lot of parallels between Brady Hoke and his return to tradition and how he's coaching those players in the old Bo, Mo, Lloyd mold, and Bo Pelini, and what Bo Pelini did when he came back to Nebraska and brought back the red shirts, or the black shirts,
right,
and the walk-ons, and all those traditions.
Oh, at Iowa, it used to frustrate the heck out of Iowa because they'd offer kids full-ride scholarships, and they'd say, no thanks, I want to walk on. I want to be one of those 150 kids on the Nebraska roster as a walk-on.
Well, what is Lincoln is the third most populous location on home games in the state of
they got a great
Nebraska.
following. I'm sure that just busted their hearts when they had Northwestern go in there, coming off that big win over Michigan State. But I really like your parallel. I can't argue with it, and hopefully that Brady Hoke can do what Bo Pelini's done. Bo Pelini's done a nice job with the Huskers, and I think Brady Hoke's going to do the same thing at Michigan. And all I care about is where we're going from here. So
this
much
is a
more
win
than
it.
What we've done right now.
This is a win it now philosophy for a lot of these coaches, and they're given very short leashes. And I hate to say it, Michigan fans, back off and give him time because he's a good coach and he's gonna bring Michigan back on level with Michigan State.
And how much they back off is going to be determined these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. He loses all 3 games. There's going to be a lot of heat on him, and
I don't think it'll be that severe. I think there'll be some, but and everybody's obviously his job security is still solid. He's going to bowl game. If you win your bowl game, if he goes 8-5, that'll be pretty good.
So what's your prediction for Illinois game?
I think Michigan's going to win. They're going to win the next 3 games. And you always accuse this guy. Always, you don't have the testicles. You never go out on a limb. You never make any declarations. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Michigan's going to. Don't ask me why. This is like 1969. They're going to get hot right down the stretch. They're going to win the last 3 games, and that including beating the Huskers at home, the Buckeyes at home, and then starting with Illinois on the road down in Champaign.
Well, I have a similar prediction. I'll go out on the line. I think Michigan State's going to have a real tough game at Kinnick Stadium. They will win that game, and then they'll win the next 2 to go on to the Big Ten.
So you're saying 3 straight for the Spartans?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I guess we'll find out next week. Check us out again. Bitter Rivals, Ted and Tom. See you next week.
Rivalry has gone. It's gone, well, frankly, to the billboards. Check out what we found out last night. Near the Frandor Shopping Center in East Lansing, a digital billboard ripping Michigan just every way you can, minutes after the game. It's sponsored by Bitter Rivals, who started a website called MichiganIsOurLittleSister.com. There are 8 different images, and they will be up all week in Frandor and one on I-96. Bitter Rivals paid a few $1,000s for those, and you can get all sorts of mementos if you go there. Really? If you're really into the little sister thing and you really want to rub it into your Michigan fan.
All right.
They got it covered.
Well,